following is an ESG360 video.
I'm here today with Dan Conde, who leads ESG's networking coverage. Welcome, Dan.
Glad to be here, John.
So as you look at the networking market in 2016, what are some of the major trends that you'll have your eye out for?
In 2016, I think that use cases will drive a lot of innovation in networking, and it's not just going to be about speeds and feeds anymore.
Okay, so use cases, how do you mean?
Use cases driven like security and making sure that your networking works with applications or with cloud and multi-tenancy. Those are some specific use cases that make a lot of sense.
So it's looking at that IT or business outcome that I'm trying to achieve and then backing into what does the underlying networking technology need to look like.
Exactly. So you build the infrastructure to meet the needs at the higher level.
Okay. And are there any specific networking technologies that are really fit this model that you're exploring?
I see two areas. Both are SDN related. One is data center SDN, and the other one is wide area SDN.
Okay. Why don't we talk about data center SDN first? What do you see there?
In a data center, there are use cases related to security so that when you have multi-tenants in a private cloud, for example, people want to segment their networks appropriately, and microsegmentation is a technology that really helps security and is available in products like Cisco ACI and VMware's NSX. And there are a lot of other companies, big and small, that are pursuing the same area, including Juniper and Nuage. They're all SDN companies and with SDN products, and they're helping out in this area as well.
So this is really all about trends in developments in areas like security and cloud driving innovation in networking.
Exactly. So the core technology networking is still important, and there's innovation going on there, but the higher level needs are really pulling the customers and the vendors in the right direction.
Okay. Now you mentioned data center SDN and wide area SDN. What about the latter?
The wide area SDN is an interesting area where you saw a lot of static, not too rapidly changing areas where you had traditional telco vendors that were placing networks based on old technologies like MPLS for years and years. And at the same time, the applications themselves that are used in wide area networks like branches were moving away from a data center to be a SaaS cloud-based application.
Right.
And now you want to make sure that the network itself evolves to meet those needs and saying, how could I use less expensive networks like broadband and still get the same kind of SLAs and reliability you get with the MPLS using modern, fast networking, and at the same time, how could I make sure that the networking doesn't go to the data center, then it realizes that it has to go to the cloud and hairpin its way to the cloud? Why don't I use new technologies that allows the branch to connect directly to AWS or Salesforce.com and have a rapid adoption of the right technologies to connect to SaaS-based applications.
So it's making sure that the network infrastructure keeps up with the rapidly changing workload and application profile of all of these end-user organizations.
Exactly. It's, again, use case driven, and a lot of small startups are addressing these needs, Vitella, VeloCloud, Talari, Ariaka, and traditional companies like Cisco, Riverbed, Silver Peak, and other ones are getting into adapting their technologies to meet these needs too.
Great, Dan. Any closing thoughts?
I think it's important for customers to look at themselves and see whether or not their use cases have changed over time, and looking at the infrastructure to see if there's a mismatch. If the changes keep getting larger and larger, it's time to revisit the assumptions they made many years ago and look at the infrastructure once again.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very smart of you and the networking vendors to be focused on those business use cases and business outcomes. That's ultimately why we have technology, so that's a very positive development.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. Well, thank you, Dan. Thanks for sharing your insights. If you'd like to read more of Dan's research or read his blog, you can do so at esgglobal.com.